Hello, my Smoky Room friends, and if you're watching, welcome back. If you're not watching, yesterday was a pretty interesting day, wouldn't you say, for Americans and especially for Ukrainians. Oh, and let's include the Russians also. One thing that yesterday accomplished was it really showed the divide, I guess, in the United States of, Americans, for the most part, we want to simplify things. The Civil War was fought over slavery. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. But that's what we teach in school. It was not fought over slavery. That didn't become a part of the Civil War until the Emancipation Proclamation. And if anybody did a lot of any reading at all on Abe Lincoln, well, you'd be surprised what you would find. I'll just leave it at that. And if anybody did any reading on Robert E. Lee, as a matter of fact, you'd be surprised what you would find. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to throw this out there because I'm a Civil War history student. That red flag, for instance. Maybe a lot of you have been wondering, what's he, a Nazi or something? That red flag is a replica of the headquarters flag of the Army of the Potomac. If you look up in the right-hand corner, you'll see a blue kepi, which is a Yankee hat. The goodies, right? Now, what I'm going to do also is... Oh my God, he's a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Look at that. He's got the Confederate flag there. You see? Confederate flag, Yankee flag. I also have a picture of Robert E. Lee. You'll barely see it. It's there somewhere. Well, yeah, the glare you can't tell. But then I have Ulysses S. Grant and Mr. Abe Lincoln. Honest Abe. Anyway, same thing with Russia and Ukraine. We want to make it biddies against the goodies. And I've been trying to get through this. And my God. Well, the names are enough to just give you a migraine and then try to remember these people. A lot of their names begin with Y and end with A. I mean, almost everybody there. It's like, can you guys find another letter or something? Yukaronovich and Yakolonovich and, yeah, come on. But the problems with Ukraine and Russia really stem back to 1991 when the Soviet Union fell apart. Okay, and the best analogy I could make is if anybody has ever lived in a really messed up family with uncles and aunts and cousins and where there's squabbles and this and that, there's always going to be some people that want to point blame. So it simplifies the whole thing in their head, and they can walk away feeling better about themselves that they figured out what the problem was, and they know that it was his fault. He's a creep that went out with Betsy from across the street, and he got her pregnant, and then she ran away with the milkman, and then before you know it, other kid. So yeah, it's that screwed up. There's really no simplified answer about what is going on over there. It's not that Putin's a bad guy, and it's not that, what's his name, Zelensky's an idiot, even though it really seems that way. It's not that simple. I'm not a fan of Mr. Putin, and I'm not a fan of Mr. Zelensky. I don't hate Mr. Zelensky, and I don't hate Mr. Putin. But I will say this. I think Putin's got it more on the ball mentally than Zelensky does. What I saw yesterday, okay? Well, first of all, you're Zelensky, right? You've been invited to the White House. Now, could we say that you've been invited by the superpower of the world? Yeah, we could say that. Okay? Can you say that you're going to go visit the country that has given you, not lent, given $350 billion? And you really can't account for all of it. Now, that's the problem of the vegetable we had sitting in the Oval Office for the past 4 years. Okay? That money came from you, and it came from me. It helped cause inflation. No matter how you try to spin it, it helped cause inflation. Because when you just keep giving money away, and giving money away, and giving money away, did I say giving money away? When you give money away like that, what are you doing? What are you doing to our economy? Are you helping Americans? No. No, you're not. No. You're taking away from us. And then, for whatever reason, since it's like, oh, wait a minute. Gee, why don't, you know what? Let's ask the Fed to print some more money. Yeah, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And when they do that, it devalues the money that's in circulation. Believe me, I am not a mathematician by any stretch of the imagination. I think third graders have it on me mathematically, but I do know a little bit about how money works. Okay? You can't keep doing that. Like I said, it devalues the dollar. Okay? It's like you start off with a full glass of water, and then you just slowly start to pour it out. You've got a full glass of water. That glass of water is worth a full glass of water. But I'm going to borrow from that water and give it to somebody else. What do you wind up with? I mean, that's almost retarded, but so what we saw yesterday, what I saw, now it's very interesting because my friend that lives across the street from here, he's seen something completely different. But what I saw, first of all, was a guy that you would think at least would have the respect to dress appropriately. I would think. That's just me saying that. So, showing up the way he did, I seen as a sign of disrespect. Okay, forget that because we got a Congress guy running around with hoodies. I forgot what the hell his name is. He actually, though, he's becoming more conservative than he was liberal ever since he really started recovering from his stroke. Democrats are going, oh, what the hell happened to him? But anyway, I find that amazing. But when he started sitting on the edge of his seat and pointing to our president, and in my opinion, acting rudely, he's a guest in our home. Donald Trump's home. Okay. He's been used to dealing with the head of broccoli that we had as a president for 4 years. No pushback, no nothing. You know, we would change his diapers for him. We would give him any cookie he ever wanted. We would give him boxes and boxes and boxes of cookies. And he would run back to Ukraine all happy and everything. And yeah, you know, they didn't lend it. They gave it to us. Would you believe that? And then he said, where the hell did that $350,000 billion go? Now, obviously this man did not do his homework. I don't know what kind of guy he thought Donald Trump was. Okay? But, you see, I've been disrespected in my home. Okay? By somebody that at one time was very, very close to me. And that relationship it's gone. It's zero. You don't do that. Amongst other things that happen. And that's what's going on here. But the disrespect. I mean, like, not even, like they were saying, not even, you don't even say thank you. And you're going to, first of all, come in here. It looks like he was wearing a t-shirt. It was a sweater. But you're going to come in here wearing a sweater and military pants and military boots, and you're going to start pointing and telling us what we're going to do and how we're going to feel about it? Are you out of your mind? You see, that's what I saw. Now, my buddy saw something completely different. He saw J.D. Vance and Donald Trump being rude to him, to Zelensky. Why is that? Why did I see something differently than what he saw? And, of course, there's millions upon millions of Americans that seen it the same way. They seen Donald Trump and our vice president being rude to Zelensky. And then there's millions upon millions upon millions of others that seen Zelensky being rude to Donald Trump. Why is that? How does that happen when we're watching the exact same thing? Well, okay, it's like the kids that went to school, got straight A's, got a master's degree, went on to college and got a doctorate, but still believe that the Civil War was fought over slavery. And you gotta, okay, wait a minute, how? And me. Oh yeah, the furthest I went to school was culinary school, okay? I worked as a chef, and that's really not a whole lot of fun. But, I did reading. I read. And then I became a living historian. Reenactments and stuff like that. And I talked to other people. One of the greatest times I've had at a reenactment, if anybody's seen the movie Glory, I got to sit down. Now, I was in a Confederate unit. We were the 17th Virginia Infantry. I forgot. I think we were in Antietam, actually. And that night, for whatever reason, the colored troops, or that's what they called them, came to our camp and wanted to sit down and talk to us. So here we had these black Union troops sitting down, sharing beers and yucking it up, but Confederate guys. I mean, that's, it wasn't, we're not Confederate. I mean, first of all, I'm Italian, and boy, was that educational. I mean, really educational. And this is very similar. You see, the black guys were educated in Civil War history, and we were, I'm starting to whistle here, and we are educated in Civil War history, so we knew all the ins and outs. But people today just want to simplify what is going on, and I mean, like I said, this fight between these two goes back to 1991. Now, what caused, and I'm not going to try to simplify this either because it's not that simple, but what caused Russia to blow the whistle and start getting the tanks rolling over the border? What caused that? Well, you see, Ukraine is not all by itself. They've been wanting to join NATO for many, many years. And there's pressure from other countries that belong to NATO that want them in NATO. And they make deals just like we make deals with military contractors and these people and those people. And before you know it, they start, you know what, we can help you out. We're going to bring some troops over there and we're going to put them on your border. Is that okay with you? Sure. Oh, yeah. And now Vlad is sitting back in Moscow saying, they got missiles over there pointed at us. Now, I've been telling them for years, don't bring that stuff close to my border. People don't want to hear that. And they seem to forget that, well, let me go with this. The only people in human history that ever nuked anybody is us. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, 1963, Cuban Missile Crisis. Cuba, 90 miles away from Florida. Key West, as a matter of fact. 90 miles away. They're pals with Russia. That's fine. I don't care. We don't care. You want to do business. That's fine and dandy. Just leave us the hell alone. Now, I don't know what the reason was. I never read about that one. But for some odd reason, somebody talked Mr. Castro into, you know what? We can give you nuclear missiles and point them to the United States. And he said, boy, that sounds like a great idea. And now we are threatened. Now let's make believe we are Russia, okay, and Castro's Ukraine. We came very close to blowing Cuba right off the face of the earth. And that's exactly what is happening now. if this thing continues, this is going to escalate into human annihilation. And I don't think that's an understatement. That's what Donald Trump is trying to avoid. Now, the other reason I'm making this video is because, boy, oh boy, is the propaganda ministry going nuts with this. They got something they can get their hands on, right? You know, because the propaganda ministry is the propaganda tool that the globalists use. Okay, you see, and then this gets more confusing by all of this stuff being part of the manipulation of the globalists. You see, one of the things people tend to forget is that Mr. Vladimir Putin is a nationalist. And I guess Zelensky is too, but I think Zelensky is more of a whore. Putin's willing to go it alone. Pretty much. Okay? He's willing to tell the European Union, go have sexual relations with yourself. You see. Whereas Mr. Zelensky has to bend over and come to the United States. And, well, anyway. But he got slapped out of the White House yesterday because he has a guy that is another guy that doesn't want to do business with the globalists. His name is, the hell's his name? He owns casinos and stuff. Donald Trump, that's what the hell his name is. Right? I mean, everybody loved Donald Trump before he got involved in politics. But now, we got a guy that not only said America first, the whole world heard that. But yesterday, many people forgot about that one. Yeah, America first. America first. That means there's certain people that are no longer going to get our money, and that's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. But at the same time, that's going to become news, baby. This guy's a creep. He promised them, and look, he threw that poor guy out of the White House. He was crying, he crapped himself, and he kicked him, and You know, I tried to explain all this to my friend, and I don't think he still doesn't get it. You know, he just doesn't get it. That, yeah, I mean, you know. But at the same time, you see, I was never, yeah, I got Trump stuff in my room. I got a picture of the guy hanging up over there. But he's a human being, and human beings are fallible. Okay? And there's only one human being that ever walked the face of this earth that I truly trust. And that person's name was Jesus Christ. End of discussion. Everybody else is like, well, oh well, we're human, baby. We make mistakes, we screw up, we step on it, we say the wrong things at inappropriate times, and we hurt people's feelings. But yesterday, I enjoyed that. The first time I seen a president with real stones. And the vice president that didn't act like a lackey. Another one that has some stones. Okay, I apologize if anybody thinks I'm acting rude or using bad language. But this is how I feel. We've been kicked around long enough by the rest of the world. 58,000 kids died in Vietnam. For what? For what? Oh, and everybody forgot that we invaded a sovereign nation. Oh, yeah. Do some reading on that one. Did we kill civilians? Oh, yeah. A lot of civilians. And they were like, why don't they like us? It's a mess, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute mess. But, okay, I don't know really who's right or who's wrong. There's no good guy in this one, and there's no bad guy in this one. There's just bad situations all around. And one thing that Donald Trump is trying to do, or at least attempting to do, is to stop nuclear annihilation. Because this thing can get out of hand real fast. Real fast. Anybody ever do any reading or see documentaries on how quickly World War I kicked off? And just for ha-has, just to amuse yourself, look up the casualty accounts of World War I. They are astounding. Astounding. There was a battle, I don't know, was it Battle of Somme? Or was it Passchendaele? In 1 hour, Britain lost 40,000 guys. 40,000. 1 hour. And the weapons we have now, I mean, we don't even have to send troops out. We could just destroy each other, in a matter of like 5 minutes. It's all done. And you don't think there's people that crazy that would do that? I don't think Putin's one of them. Okay, I really don't. I'm not certain about that, but I don't think so. I try, when I see him, I look in his eyes and, I see some humanity. Now, my buddy, on the other hand, thinks he's a monster. And that's only because he was in the KGB. Ooh, let me see. George H. Bush was the head of the CIA. KGB, CIA, Vietnam. The CIA is like in all kinds of creepy stuff. Aren't they? Really. Look at what the FBI was used for the past 4 years. On our own president? Okay? So, don't get the idea that America is always and has always been on the right side of history. Because we sure as hell haven't been. And especially when you start reading about the American Civil War. Boy, is that an eye-opener of some stuff that went on there that you just wouldn't believe. And yeah, that was messy. It was messy. And Vietnam, it saddens me. It really does. I was in during that time, and I guess I take it sort of personally. Mostly, I wasn't there, of course, but everybody I served with, just about, I would say 85% at least, they were all veterans of being in Vietnam. And you hear about a lot of crap. So, you know, this video really, I wanted to mention these few things, and I wanted to mention most of all that right now, expect to hear the worst you possibly can about Donald Trump. Okay? Because the propaganda ministry is going to play this out like you wouldn't believe. Okay? They're going to make this guy look so bad. You got people already saying that he's not going to serve a full term. So, you know, when you hear this kind of stuff, and what I'm noticing, if you're using Google, forget about it. You're not going to get the real information. You're just not. They're not going to play that game. So, you know, if I were you, I'd get some history books. Do some reading. You know, a great one to start with is Quigley's Tragedy and Hope. Tragedy and Hope is a good book. It's over 1,000 pages. But I use it as reference anyway. And I get a ton of information out of that. And even this is difficult as the names are to remember and try to keep the events straight in your head. It's still worth going through. Okay? It really is. It's still worth going through. And the author makes it perfectly clear that this is not an easy one to sort out. It's just a mess. And it saddens me that, look, playing devil's advocate here. You know, I can understand how Zelensky feels. I think he's a nationalist. But at the same time, I also think he has, he sympathizes with the Nazis. The Azov Battalion. Okay, look that one up. Yeah, it's just a lot of interesting stuff involved here. And I truly believe the man doesn't know what he's doing. And I truly believe the man's a crook. But at the same time, I truly believe he loves Ukraine and wants to keep fighting. Because the way he sees it is Russia stepped over the line and they deserve... Look, Russia's getting it handed to them at times too. Everybody's dying over there. Okay? So far, no, it doesn't seem like anybody's winning anything. Okay? Except a ticket to a 6-foot pit. So, why come to the White House and act like the creep you did? He should have been humble. He should have showed the amount of respect that we deserve. We. You see, Donald Trump is speaking for us. And this guy just comes with his hand out and thinks we're going to give it to him. Doesn't work that way any longer, pal. Them days are gone. Them days are gone. And the days with Rainbow here, well, that's gone too. Okay? The thing with the woke this and the woke that and the transvestites and the LGBT and the rainbow flags and all that, sayonara! It's done! You know. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, thanks for stopping in today. Sorry I didn't have any snacks and refreshments for you. But if you come back next time, I will have a whole layout set. I'm thinking fried chicken. Coming from an Italian, well, not only Italian, but Sicilian. I love good fried chicken. I really do. Good fried chicken with real good collard greens. Oh my God. Mashed potatoes and yams. Yeah, the black women in the kitchen used to call me a soul brother. He ain't white. But that's because I would play Motown too while we were working. So look, I'll tell you what. When I was working as a chef in that place, I mean, there were days that were just absolutely hysterical. Some of the things that I seen happen. Oh my God! Ay ay ay! It was anyway. But the percentage of the time was, yeah. I would rather be mixing cement like I used to. Believe it or not, it wasn't as hard mentally and physically. But I was a kid back then too. So listen, thanks for stopping by. Love to have you. And, as I usually say, see you on the flip. And do some reading. And pray. Get your Bible. And pray. Right? Okay. Bye-bye.